everyone! I welcome all of you back to your English class. So students, this week we were quite busy with Viva, right? But today in this video, I have decided to start with a new chapter, which is chapter 10 of your course book. And the name of the chapter is Gliders, Parachutes and Helicopters, right? So are you all wondering about some trip? No, it's not your trip, guys. It is actually trip of a seed, right? Trip of a seed. You know how? Students, in your science textbooks, you all must have already studied about dispersion of seeds, which happens through different mediums. For example, it can happen through water, or it can happen through wind, or it can happen through insects, right? In this chapter, we are going to talk about dispersion of seed, which happens through wind, and the movement, the journey of seed has been compared to different things such as helicopters, gliders and parachutes. So it's going to be really interesting for you people to know more about it. Before starting with the poetry, I hope you all remember those three things. Yes, those three things are like, share and subscribe. Also write down in the chat box whatever you feel about the poetry. Last and very important part is that when the video will start, you will see certain slides which will also include information about the author, about the poet and also the summary. So you all can use those slides to write down about the poet and also write down the summary in your notebooks. Right, students? Rest of the queries can be discussed using the comment section, or you can wait for your class so that we can personally talk about them. Right? Happy learning! Okay students, so let's start learning. The name of the poem is Gliders, Parachutes and Helicopters. Right? By now, I hope you know that gliders, parachutes and helicopters, this is a term used for seeds. In this poem, we are not talking about the real glider, parachute or helicopter. Instead, we are comparing the movement of seeds because of wind to gliders, parachutes and helicopters. Right? Students, another thing is that this poem has been written by Ruchi Sengar. I hope you already know that Ruchi Sengar is also the author of your course book. Let's know something about her. Students, Ruchi Sengar has 25 years of teaching experience in well-known public schools of Delhi. She is a certified trainer, consultant and has trained many teachers all over India. Apart from that, she is trained item writer and also a master trainer for ASL. So do you understand students? She is a very renowned personality and has done a lot of work in English language. Now let's learn the poem. Stanza 1. Flutter, flit and fly as the wind gushes by. Aerodynamic spiral rings with membranous papery wings. Silent, slow moving sliders, these cockpit-less magical gliders. What does it mean? In the first stanza, the poet describes the seeds that are dispersed by the wind, known as gliders. Students, by now in your science textbooks, you must have learned that seeds are dispersed by different methods. One of those methods is by wind. So here we are talking about the movement of seeds by wind. Gliders are here the seeds with two lateral wings like that of an aeroplane. When released from the fruit, they move through the air like a true glider. The poet says these seeds flutter and fly swiftly as the wind blows. They have thin paper-like wings that are shaped to allow the flow of air over them so that they are just like an aeroplane, where the rule of aerodynamics explains how they move. But unlike an aeroplane, they have no cockpit. Right? Moving on to stanza 2. propelled past and pushed as the air current whooshed. Successful wind travelers never weary, these umbrella like crowns often hairy. A gust of wind rushes and shoots these globulous puffy parachutes. Which means the second stanza talks about the seeds called parachutes. So, here in the second stanza, we are calling the seeds parachutes. Parachutes include seeds or one seeded fruit themselves, which have a raised crown of hair at the top, resembling an umbrella. These hair are produced in puff like clusters or in globulous heads. The poet says these seeds are pushed and moved by the air currents. They are successful travelers who never feel tired. So now you see, students, these seeds keep on moving because wind pushes them. But still they never feel tired. A gust of wind puffs out their globulous parachutes. Let's see the third stanza. Swivel, swirl, and spin as the gale trumpets in, fluttering above valleys and glades on rigid, naked, twin spread blades. Forward flying, airy freighters, these wondrous whirly helicopters. Which means the third stanza talks about the helicopters, the seeds with a membranous wing at one end that acts like a propeller, causing it to spin as it falls. So it is as if when the seed begins to fall, it starts spinning, right? The spinning action is similar to the auto rotation in helicopters when they slowly descend after a power loss. So can you see, students, in the third stanza we are comparing the movement of seeds to the movement of helicopters. The poet says that the wind becomes strong, the helicopter seed flutters forward over the valleys like a freight helicopter. Stanza 4, the last stanza. Tales of travel, they tell you if they could, as they go about the business of the greater good. These soldiers of nature, known for their deeds, aren't modern machines but tireless seeds. Which means the poet ends the poem by saying that if they could, the seeds would narrate the stories of their travels as they went about doing good. So can you see, students, in complete poem we saw that the seeds are continuously moving. So if it was possible for them, they could have narrated those travel stories to us, but they can't. The poet tells us that they are not machines but rather seeds that do not get tired, soldiers of nature known for their good deeds. Right? Now, students, because it's a poem, we also need to learn some important figures of speech used here. The first figure of speech which is used here is alliteration. Alliteration is the literary device whereby words that start with the same sound are used in quick succession in a line. Let's see some examples. For example, flutter, flit and fly. I hope you remember flutter, flit and fly from stanza 1. See, you will observe, students, the poet begins each and every stanza with an alliteration only. Let's see one more example. Propelled, passed and pushed from stanza 2. Or swivel, swirl and spin from stanza 3. Or tales of travel they'd tell you from stanza 4. You will observe that there is a letter which keeps on repeating. There is a sound that keeps on repeating in the line, one after the other. This is called alliteration. Let's see some more figures of speech. Some more figures of speech are onomatopoeia, which is the usage of words that include sounds similar to the noises the words refer to. Here, for example, flutter or gushes by or whooshed. These three words mean the same and also produce the same sound. Right? So this is called onomatopoeia. Flutter from stanza 1, gushes by also from stanza 1 and whooshed from stanza 2. Third figure of speech used here is personification. Personification is the attribution of human characteristics to something non-human. Personification. So you can easily relate with it, given humanly qualities to something non-living. For example, the poet refers to the seeds as wind travelers. Right? Wind travelers are never seeds, actually, are never artificial or non-human things. So here they have been given a humanly touch. This is used in stanza 2. Then we also have metaphor. A metaphor is a figure of speech that directly refers to one thing by mentioning another. It may provide clarity or identify hidden similarities between two ideas. For example, the poet compares the seed to a soldier of nature, as by being the link from one generation of plant to the next, it protects nature. See students, metaphor means to compare, right? Here poet is comparing seed to a soldier of nature. So this is an example from stanza 4. Moving on to the last figure of speech, which is imagery. It is the name given to elements in the poem that spark off any of the 5 senses. For example, the air current whooshed is an example of auditory imagery. Auditory means something that you can hear, right? So when you hear the word whooshed, you immediately think of the sound. The sound immediately comes to your mind. So that is imagery. Second example, fluttering above valleys is an example of visual imagery. Visual means something that you can see, right? Now next thing is knowing the rhyme scheme. So students, every 2 lines of the poem rhyme with each other. Hence the rhyme scheme of each of the first 3 stanzas is AA, BB and CC. Whereas for last stanza it is AA and BB. I request all of you to please write it down in your notebooks. And lastly, theme and summary of the poem. Students, the theme of the poem is the wondrous ways of nature brought out through the dispersal of seeds. And a short summary, the poem is a nature poem. The poem is about the gliders, parachutes and helicopters, that is the seeds which are dispersed by the wind. The poet describes each of them as they are carried away by wind. She concludes by saying that if they could speak, these seeds would have many travel stories to narrate as they go about as soldiers of nature, keeping their species alive. They are tireless seeds. Thank you everyone. I hope you understood the topic properly.